actually in a New Year's message. But because every day is a new day, and every day is a new beginning, I thought it was appropriate for what we're going to be speaking about today. First, I have to have a quote from Oprah Winfrey. Create the highest, grandest vision possible for your life, because you become what you believe. And then from Ernest Holmes, true imagination is not fanciful daydreaming. It is fire from heaven. And here is the reading, and this is taken from the Science of Mind magazine. Spiritual practice is so rich in insight and love that I would never skip it. And this is me inserting my own stuff here. Today, we looking back at our lives at what just happened. Taking this information into meditation, we can synopsize the intuitive hits, happenstances, hunches, or accidents. We know there are no accidents, right? There's only God working behind the scenes. Areas of greatest pain, experiences of significant growth, what brought us greatest joy, and where we made a difference. Suddenly, it's not about what happened last year, but what happened, or I choose to say, about what happened to my brothers and sisters. I get to see my powerful role in co-creating a life well worth living. This exercise usually takes the majority of the day. It is perfect preparation for tomorrow's activity. Remember that she's talking about preparing for the new year, which is the setting of intentions for the rest of our lives. This is true for me as well. I no longer write goals or resolutions. Now I write possibilities. And I said it right before service, so this is a new quote from Rebecca. Expectation is the mother of invention. So that's my new quote for the year. In Science of Mind, they often say that there is the good news and the interesting news. However, you like to process your daily experience, especially the eventful ones, across from one entire year of your life. It is a spiritual tradition that serves you well. Enjoy how you traditionally wind up your year, or can I say, wind up your day. In addition, feel free to try this technique of reviewing your life. In the wisdom teachings, it's called life review or nightly review every day. And so we go back over our lives. So today, as part of our meditation, I would like to take you into your own daily review, and so that we can be in present moment. And so if you would please close your eyes and take a deep breath. Allow yourself to feel your body within its space. Roll your shoulders back and open up your heart. And now visualize, imagine, feel a ball of golden white light above your head. This light is your soul star, the part of you that is connected to the all that is. Breathe. Feel that light from your high consciousness called your soul send forth its energy into the top of your head, into your crown chakra. And allow your bodies, the body physical, the body emotional, the body mental, to accept this energy and fill up as this energy flows down to you and through you, filling up every cell in the bodies with high consciousness, golden white light. Allow yourself to feel at peace and at ease. And if a thought comes to you, simply allow it to drift away with your out-breath as you breathe in love and breathe out compassion. You're feeling so at peace. Every cell in your body, every muscle feeling relaxed, loose, limp, soft, warm. And now from a place of peace, think about your life, your immediate existence. Think about where you have pain, where you have imbalances. Will you have any judgments or criticisms, issues with others, issues with what's going on in the world? And see from your soul perspective that it is in divine order, that all is well. And so take each of those and bless those experiences and those ideas and those feelings and those conditions. And say, peace be with you. I know there is a plan and a purpose here. I may not know what it is, but I thank you for the opportunity of growth that you are affording. In each of those situations, go within now and say that to them. Release them in love. Release in divine perfection. And as you allow your soul to continue this work for you, realize that you have created space within yourself. And with intention, begin to magnetize to that space that which you would create as your reality. And do this for the next few moments. And now, fill yourself to the very brim with gratitude for living in a time and place that you are responsible for your own reality. And call on your inner guides, teachers, angels, saints, sages, to continue to work with you as you consciously know that you are the ones you've been waiting for. A breath. I desire that everything I think shall be from the heart as well as from the head. I wish to release kindness and love, sympathy and understanding, peace and joy. Today I bestow the essence of love upon everything and everyone. Everyone shall be lovely to me. My soul meets the soul of the universe in everyone. Nothing is ugly. Everything is beautiful. Everything is meaningful. This love is a healing power touching everything into wholeness, healing the wounds of experience with divine balm. I affirm, I know that this love essence, the very substance of life, the creative principle in back of everything, is now flowing through my whole being, spiritual, emotional, mental, and physical. It is done now. And so it is. Another breath. Allow yourself to put your hands together, palm to palm in front of your hearts, lifting them heart to mind, back down again to open palm, as we say the Hindu word for peace, Shanti, 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 may peace prevail on earth. And so it is. Thank you for being here today. David and I wanted to talk about a few things, but what we mostly want to talk about today is following your bliss. You know, you probably heard that from Joseph Campbell. He had a wonderful series about the hero's journey. And when I think about following my bliss, following your bliss, I always start with the physical world and see what's going on with my body. See what's going on with my emotions. How am I feeling? I check in with where I'm at. Am I feeling loving and kind and positive and excited or not? And then I check my mental self. What am I thinking? And I'm going to tell you this. I have 2 little children on either shoulder. They're little angels, but they're still childlike. One is my little angel that is full of love and expansion, and she says, oh, yes. And the other one says, yeah, but you're not good enough. You're not thin enough. You're not rich enough. And the other one says, peace. My child, you know that what you're doing is God's work. And everything happens for a reason, but, the little girl says. And so we have this thing, the buts. The attitude of buts going on. And to me, that is one of the biggest indicators of, am I following my bliss or that butt girl not shut up all the time? And so that's where I begin to look at following my bliss. And I also look at, in my body, where is the imbalance happening? Because I had the very good fortune for many years of being able to take workshops with a wonderful teacher called Carolyn Mays. She wrote Anatomy of the Spirit. Does anyone not know who Carolyn Mays is? She's a medical intuitive, works with Norm Shealy a lot, but she's become a great spiritual teacher, and actually, of course, as has happened with so many spiritual teachers, Oprah made her very famous. Yeah. And I was living in Detroit at the time, and she was in Chicago, and so I could go to her workshops and take her classes, and she was writing Anatomy of the Spirit at that time, and so we talked a lot about the chakras and the emotions and the Kabbalah and all these things that were so much a part of my spiritual practice. And so when I start to have some physical issues, I look at this chakra that I'm having the issues in. And for many years now, about 4.5 actually, I've been having issues with my throat chakra. First, thyroid issues came. I have balanced those. And then neck issues. And you look at, what does the throat chakra talk about? Speaking your truth. Right? Mm-hmm. Creativity. The power of the word. Am I not using the word the way I am meant to from a soul perspective? And then you pull back and you look at the spiritual and all that. So this is where I have been now for a while. So David, I could talk forever, so I better not. And I'm going to
fine.
No, that's okay. I'm going to talk to David. Let David talk about how he notices where his bliss is, or isn't.
Yeah, it isn't. Bliss is a big word, actually. You think about bliss. I'm just trying to follow my passion. If passion and bliss are the same thing, then great. But passion, I think we come in very much with a soul purpose, and I think that soul purpose is made from all of the previous experiences that we've had. Past lives, all of that, and we kind of come in with this, what we're strong in and what we need to work on. And that's pretty much what we're here for. We're either doing one or the other. We're either doing something that just lights the fire in our souls, in our hearts, and we feel passionate about that because it's an alignment with what we're here to do. Now that can bring bliss, But bliss is kind of a spillover in the brain of chemicals that gives me a state of bliss. But I think that it's all in a sense of alignment. That's kind of what you were talking about too. When you check out your body, you check out your chakras, which we need to do more. I think we check out everybody. We check out CNN, we check out everybody else. And that's fine, but check on yourself. When's the last time you checked on yourself and done a checkup and gone through your chakras and asked, is there anything that is coming up for healing or for balancing or whatever? So to me, it's doing what I came here to do. When I'm trying to push the river and go against why I'm here. And that's one thing that I have tried to do for myself, maybe innately. I don't know where I would have got this kind of information growing up. But I have felt to strengthen my strong points and don't worry so much about my weak points. In other words, I've not spent a lot of time trying to go against the tide of what I'm here to do so I can be better at something. I've tried to work with what I know that I can do from a natural point of view. In other words, it's natural for me to do it. I don't have to work at it, but it flows for me. And I've always felt that way at the ministry. I have known all my life, as long as I can remember, that this is what I would do. So I know I brought it in with me. It's not something that an afterthought, that after I got here I thought, okay, I'm going to fill out this thing in school about what I want to do with my life. I never had that. I knew that. And I knew that when I first started preaching to my grandma's cows at 5 years old. And I would look at old Bessie and I'd say, Bessie, get that lipstick off or you're going to hell. Because that's what I heard him say in church. So I thought, and Bessie really taught me a great lesson because Bessie didn't care. She just looked at me and I don't think you're getting this, Bessie.
Bessie understood what you were saying.
Exactly, better than I knew what I was saying. So I'm just saying to you, but the fact that I knew that so early and I have followed that all my life, that has given me a certain passion, compassion, and bliss too. I love what I do. I hear you say it too.
Yeah,
you love what you do. We love what we do.
We love what we do.
And we're passionate about what we do. It's not a job when you love what you do. So if everything in your life is like, oh, I got to get up and I got to go to a job or something like that, yeah, something's not in alignment with your bliss. You're not following it.
And I remember that this happened to me 21 years ago. I was still in the fashion business and I hated getting up in the morning. And I remember one day, I have a Post-it note on my garage door that says, turn the light on. I've always had that. And I saw that and I went, yeah, well, that'd be great, but today I just hope it's not another day and another beating. And I stopped and I realized, and I'm going to tell you, I remember the exact date. It was April 28th, 1998, and it was a Tuesday. And I went in to my job at Belk. I was divisional merchandise manager in product development. Now I'm going to back up a little bit. I had already been called to the ministry. I had gone to seminary for 6 years, and the call was right in the middle of a trip to Paris, France, as a fashion designer. And I was in the Notre Dame, and I was praying, and all of a sudden I saw myself in that pulpit. I went, seriously? And then I had that whole rest of the trip, I had past life after past life recall. Everywhere I went in Paris, everywhere I went in London, I would almost like shift back through time and see myself in different roles. And they were all spiritual, nuns, martyrs, being burned at the stake, whatever, and being a priest. And that was a big change point for me because as I was thinking, what is this about? I was led to spiritual teachers and eventually Sancta Sophia Seminary where I graduated. The same thing was happening at Belk. Things when I realized that day that I was no longer supposed to do that. I went in that day, I called personnel, made an appointment, and at lunch when all of my staff was gone, I cleaned out my office. because I knew it was time for me to pursue my ministry. Now let me tell you what happens as you follow your passion and you follow your bliss. You get tested. I left that job, went home and slept for about 2 weeks. PTSD stuff. And I'll be darned if I didn't get the phone call from one of my people in the industry with the job that I've been wanting for years. And the job was to be fashion director for Target International. And I had wanted that job. It was never available when I was available. Suddenly, synchronicity. And I told the headhunter, I said, you know what, let me get back to you. Because I had left to follow my passion, which was to become a full-time minister and to speak and to teach. And I called her back and Sherry said, are you crazy? I said, you know, if I don't do it now, I will always wonder, what if? And when you're following your passion, and you know this because we've just been through this with each other, you go, personality goes, are you crazy? And bliss and passion say, yeah, I have divine, what's it called? Divine
Guidance.
No, when you're crazy. With that craziness that's divine, there's a word for it.
Yeah.
I forget what it is. But anyway, it's divine craziness, you know. Madness, divine madness.
Carolyn called it madness.
Yeah, divine madness. So we're experiencing that right now. We have been exploring our passions together, our passions apart, and then I had a milestone birthday this summer, and I had an opportunity to look at, am I following my bliss? Am I living my passion? And the answer was yes and no. My passion is to teach esoteric wisdom, to teach what I was taught in the seminary I was privileged to go to. I personally, my spiritual path is I walk the path of the mystic. And I realized that I was not doing that because I was involved in the day-to-day so much that I wasn't a spiritual leader here, that I wasn't really being true to who I was, to who I am, wasn't following my bliss. So Dave and I have been talking. I'm going to go ahead and go into this because I'm looking at the clock. And we had put the property on the market because we were going to sell, and we decided, which you didn't know, that he was going to go his way and I was going to go my way. And so I told him, why don't you go ahead, I'm going to back away as spiritual leader. I'm going to let you develop your group up here, and I'm going to continue to develop my group uptown. And that way, you know, people will know what it's about. Once the center sells, we'll have a little bit of seed money, but then something happened, which always does. You know what they say? Never tell God your plans. So we had lunch. We were going to do this way, and then I'm going to turn it over to you to tell what happened next.
Okay. Wow. I don't know what to tell you. We decided, Tim and I was talking, we thought we'd like to meet with Reverend Connie, who can't be here this week because of, I think family came in or something like that. I know her heart's here. I wish she could be here because this involves her. But we decided to meet, the three of us. But I already met with Rebecca, and we wanted to meet with her and just kind of brainstorm and talk, you know, about why we're not selling, what can we do, that type of thing.
Oh, you hadn't decided not to sell yet.
No.
That came out of that.
Yeah, not at all. I was sold, yeah. But anyway, let me just say, in the middle of this conversation that we were kind of stumbling through, like it wasn't flowing, like it wasn't getting anywhere, no answers, whatever. And finally, Tim just merely said something about the amount that is owed on this property is not bad at all. Because I've been looking for some time since we had talked about what do I do? You know, I go rent somewhere, and I could not believe rental prices out there. It was very high. You're talking $3,000 to $5,000 in some cases for anything. It was halfway decent and whatever. Oh my goodness! And then but when he said that, something happened in the room that I don't know if you'll believe it or not. It doesn't matter. But we all, at the same time, got these chills that went from the top of our head down to the soles of our feet. All three of us. Now you might figure that out with me, but you would not with Tim. Just a chill person like that. But we all had it, and we just immediately, like Spirit just stepped in and said, you need to stay where you are. This is why it's not sold. And at that, you got to understand, up to that moment, there was nothing in me that would make me want to take this work over. Nothing. You know, my thing is to get out of here, sell it, do what we got to do. Everybody move on where they're moving and do what needs to be done. But when that happened, it was like my heart opened up with a willingness to Spirit, and I just felt divinely guided by Spirit to say yes to taking this. And as I was telling the class this morning, the thing is once that happens, then the brain starts in, let's think about this. That's where we get in trouble, right there. Let's think it over. Let's really think it through. And of course the brain wants to analyze it. It wants to tell you every reason that you should not do it. And all of that happened. So I was a little discouraged. And then at the class this morning, actually you touched me, my dear, when I was telling this a little bit, and you said to me, you better obey the Spirit. And it was like the Spirit through her was just talking right at me, like, don't you dare back off because of what's going on in your head and the appearance of things and how it looks and all the things that come up. Follow your Spirit. So I'm committing myself to the guidance of the Holy Spirit to be available to do that.
And I am committing myself to the guidance of Holy Spirit, to my spirit, to my guidance, that I have to share with you. At the board meeting this week, I tendered my letter of resignation as spiritual leader of this beautiful center, because my spirit is calling me to do the Golden Quest Mystery School. And I am so excited about it. I'm almost jumping out of my skin. I'm so excited about it. This first workshop this afternoon, I've got 11, possibly 12 people coming. I was hoping for 1 or 2, you know. My groups that I'm meeting with and uptown and in different parts of town have been so supportive of this decision as well. My friends here have been supportive of this decision. It is time for me to move on as the head of this congregation and to bequeath it to my friend Reverend David, and I ask you to support him in his next phase of his ministry. And I know that it will be under divine guidance and it will be wonderful. I will be here through November 4th will be my last Sunday service here. I will be still doing, I'm still here. We have a lot going on in October, which we'll talk about during announcements. So I encourage you to come to them. We both have different things here and different things. I've got different things in other places. So I have to tell you, and I'll give my swan song speech on the 4th, but I have to tell you that what I've loved about my time here as spiritual leader is how much I've learned from everyone. And the grace that has entered my life to allow me to do this next step for what I want to do. But there comes a point in your life where it's that time to say, are you living your soul mission? And even though I was kind of, sort of, in a way, I wasn't fully embracing it. And I'm going to tell you, since I made this decision, I have opened up back into the stream of energy of the wisdom teachings that I haven't been in for years. And my teachers, some have passed to spirit, are back with me. And I just feel so excited about this next step. And there's always a reason for everything. And the ultimate reason, though, to make a decision is it in alignment with your soul purpose? And if you can say yes, 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 then do it.
Amen.
And so it is.
I will be during this time, telling you more and more about where we do have some plans, some ideas and things to do. One thing we do want to do some restoring around here and fixing up of things like that. So that's in the making. We will, and we put together, we didn't want to do it this week, but we will be passing out to you, because we want to know what you're thinking about all this and where you are, a survey, so we can know what's in your minds. It's very important to me to know what's going on with you and whatever. I know some of you will do different things, and with whatever ends up here as a quorum, as a core, then we will try to build just as you are building from we all have to have a building point. And anyway, I'll be talking more about where I am and what my vision is, and as it comes. So. Oh,
one other thing I wanted to let you know is I have taken emeritus standing. So it's like I'm retiring from the pulpit, but I will still be emeritus to the organization, which means you may see me from time to time doing a workshop or something. I'm not like leaving and never showing my face again. I mean, this is something that we agreed to. I mean, it's not like, oh, she's leaving. No. This is because our spirit is working through us, and we are very cognizant that we are still spiritual co-creators, and we still have a spiritual link from our own souls. Otherwise, the universe wouldn't have brought us together to begin with.
That's right.
So this is nothing about anything.
I have to tell you, I think you've grown. I really, I've learned a lot from you. And I saw this coming. I actually saw it coming when you started with the meetups. And I think you're ready, and I'm very, very happy for you.
Thank you, Sean.
Reverend David will do very well. So you got, I think you're...
When it's win-win,
Yeah.
it's spiritually
Absolutely.
guided and guided by spirit. And this is win-win. There's nothing but positive about this. And we're both excited. I think he's a little bit more hesitant than I am. But it's like being free and knowing that you release to faith, you surrender. Like last week, if you were here, the final surrender. The whole idea was setting you up to let you know that the final surrender is to spirit, and to allow yourself to be in such faith and not fear about what the future is about. And that's where we are both at. And I keep telling that little girl, shh, because that's your personality and ego speaking. Do you have any final words?
No, stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Thank you all for being here, and we appreciate it. We ask you for your continued prayers for us as we develop our ministries.